What is going on, guys? It's your boy Emery Reigns here, bringing you some more DOA6 content. We got some new DOA6 videos that I want to go over with you guys. They're kind of just short clips, and we also got some other news that I'd like to share with you guys in case you didn't know, because it's actually very important for this game. Definitely as far as how much money that Team Ninja is going to be able to generate as far as when DOA6 is released. And also we have another long gameplay video that I do want to talk about. It's kind of long, like 3 minutes long, and it's pretty much just Rikuto versus Hayabusa, and it's going to be on the returning stage, the Crimson. So we're going to go over all this stuff, and also I do want to talk about the character select screen as well, because a lot of people haven't noticed that this is pretty much the first or second time that they've really changed the character select screen. I know that they changed it around in Dimensions a little bit, but this is actually going to be the first time that they changed the character select screen around in a while. So the first gameplay video that I want to talk about is going to be a quick 7-second Zak video. As you can see, he's going to be here facing off against Bass. It's not really anything crazy. I just wanted to throw it in here just in case you guys didn't see it. But as you can see, Zak is doing the string, and he kind of interrupts Bass from doing his little stomping kick there. He interrupts him on counter hit, which is gonna also, you know, trigger the counter strike alert up there in the corner, and he goes right in from that to his break blow, and then he goes into the punch there. There's not really a lot of significance there. I mean, he's hitting him on counter hit, but you know, like, again, there's not really a lot of significance there, or really anything to talk about. I guess that's just a little clip they wanted to upload there of Zak. Zak hasn't really been getting a lot of gameplay. And also, that string that Zak is doing is actually a little useless. Nobody in their right mind is going to sit there and let you finish that string on block. They're going to definitely interrupt you or hold you for trying to finish the kick. So, you know, I don't really know why they put that up there, but, you know, I guess they just wanted to show some Zak stuff off. So the next clip that we got here, we got some Honoka gameplay. Again, a character that we haven't really seen too much from. There was a time where they were showing a lot of Honoka stuff when she was first announced, but there's going to be some more Honoka gameplay here, and it's actually pretty cool. This is completely new. We haven't seen this yet, and I want to take a second to kind of talk about this. So she does her Fatal Rush, okay? And then out of her Fatal Rush, she goes into stance. So she's not the first character that can do something like this. Hayabusa can also do his Fatal Rush while he's in his Ninpo stance, which I think adds originality and adds, you know, just different ways to get into Fatal Rush for each character. But she's gonna be doing her Fatal Rush there. Out of the Fatal Rush, she goes into her stance. Okay, she goes into the stance. Now, I want to read the description, and I hope it doesn't confuse you guys, because I don't, at least from my experience with this game and just knowing how the moves work and things like that and the hit levels, as you can see, Honoka's going to punch the ground, and it's going to launch Hayabusa. Now, from my knowledge, there's no low attacks in DOA that will launch you. I could be wrong, or maybe one, but there are moves that lead in from lows that have mids afterwards, like Rig's down kick kick, Kasumi's down kick kick, that are low startups but end in mid and then they launch. In my experience with this game, there's no lows in DOA that actually launch, and I'm not saying that it will be broken if it did launch, but it will be ridiculous, because Honoka also has a grab out of the stance. She has a mid kick launcher out of the stance, a low kick launcher out of the stance. She has a lot of options out of the stance, and she also has a mid punch out of the stance too. So I highly doubt they're going to give Honoka a low that's going to launch you out of stance. So I believe that this may be another mid punch, and it'll still be good because she has the grab mix up. She has a low kick. She has a mid kick launcher. So if they gave her a low out of the stance that launch you, I think that would be pretty fucked up. And then obviously she goes into the air grab. So I don't think that that's a low. I think that that's going to be a mid punch, because as you can see, she's punching the ground, but you know, the sparks go up and you can see it actually launch him. So again, I don't believe lows will launch in DOA, but you know, we'll never know what they're going to be doing with this this time around. So that's the new Honoka gameplay. So next we got some Rig stuff. Again, another character we haven't really seen too much from. Rig is a character that was announced very early in DOA6's, you know, when DOA6 was first announced. He was announced very early. We haven't really seen too much of him since then. Then Jaeger played with him a lot at EVO. But again, we haven't really seen too much of him, especially stuff that's, you know, actually good looking combos and setups and things like that. So we got a clip here that I want to go over with you guys. So we're going to be in the lab stage here, and you know, I'll let you guys watch the clip and then we'll talk about it. There's quite a few things to talk about here. So as you can see, Rig's 7P, which is also a sit-down stun in DOA5, is a fatal stun. That's actually fucking good as hell. That's really good because that means his 7K could potentially be a fatal stun. So, 7P, up kick, and then that's a new string from Rig right there. So that's going to be 3P, and I believe it's going to be 3P KKK maybe. It might be something easy like that. So up kick, 3P into the kick, 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 bound combo. Forward, forward kick, punch, punch, back kick, kick, forward kick. So that's what that B&B combo is going to look like. Again, I think Rig may be able to do something a little different than just forward, forward kick after he does the bound. But, you know, he may be able to do a little more, he may not. But just looking, because of the fact that Rig actually has to free cancel and turn around and do something after that, which the only thing that sucks about Rig's bound, because he can't just stand straight up and do something, he has to turn around first. So maybe he might be able to free cancel and do up kick kick or something like that. That's something we're going to have to experiment with once the game comes out. But another thing that I do want to talk about in this video is that wall bounce that he gets right there. So do you guys remember the wall bounce in Dead or Alive 5 where, you know, you got the fireworks stage where you're on the beach and then you can do the high. Once you hit the wall, you get like a higher bounce. You know, it's going to be something like that. Once you hit somebody into the wall, you're going to get that higher bounce and be able to get a higher combo off of it. And also the stage with the fucking... with the clowns. What stage is that? I fucking forget what stage. Is it coming soon? I don't think it's coming soon. I think it's the stage with the tiger that runs back and forth. There's a stage with the tiger that runs back and forth, and then there's the balls that you can hit the person off of on the one side of the stage. You get that same animation from that as well, and you just get a higher combo opportunity there. So that's pretty sick. Rig looks fucking awesome. Definitely somebody I'm gonna mess around with as far as just training mode and maybe getting some online matches in with. I've always played a little Rig. He's actually really fun. So definitely somebody I'm gonna be messing with in DOA6 a little bit. And next we got some Kokoro gameplay here we're going to talk about. So this is actually really sick for Kokoro players because a lot of people don't know that Kokoro can actually go into her high chew stance. She can go into that not just using punch kick down kick. She can do it by itself. She can do punch punch down kick into it. She can do she can get into the stance a lot of ways. So this is good for her combo potential because look, that was a pretty good amount of damage just from one launch into punch down kick grab. So Kokoro is going to be able to do that off of very low combo opportunities. So, like for example, in DOA5, Kokoro can do a whole combo. She can do, I believe it's up forward punch or up punch. I want to say it's up forward punch, but she has a relaunching punch. She can do up forward punch 3 times and then do punch down kick into punch down kick punch, and it connects. She's going to be able to do punch down kick grab out of her combos from one of the characters in a very low juggle state. So that's really good for her because her combo potential is going to be ridiculous. And again, I talked about it before, but it seems like other characters are able to take advantage of the new bound juggle system more than others. Kokoro definitely being one of those characters, it looks like. Ayane is another one of those characters. Hayabusa is actually not very good at using his bound combos because the character has to be very, very high up for 3P plus K kick to connect. So this is definitely something we're going to have to consider when the new bound combos come into play. Kokoro definitely looks like she's going to be able to take advantage of it a lot more than other characters. And right there, she can, and look, the opportunities are crazy because she's finishing the high chew and going into 4P plus K, I think that is. She can cancel that and do her break blow. She doesn't actually have to finish her follow-ups after that, so that's fucking awesome, man. That's good for her. Another gameplay clip that I want to talk about with you guys, just another video that's pretty quick. I actually compiled this video together to show you guys the differences, but I believe that this was a build that they put out. They showed a video of last year, and again, as I said, the build changes all the time. Moves change all the time. They have the ability to change moves and the property of moves and stages and things like that before the game's released. So what I mean by that is if they come out with something and people are putting feedback out like, yo, this is broken, don't do this shit, they're probably going to change it, or their team is going to look at it and be like, this has to be changed, it's a little too good. So back when Bayman, around the time when Bayman was first announced, this is some gameplay that they showed us here. As you can see, Bayman runs and slides on the ground and does an offensive hold, which is the second part of his tank roll or his 3-3 grab, down forward grab. That's fast as a motherfucker. And the reason why that would be annoying is because Bayman, you know, I mean, then again, it wouldn't be too bad because Bayman's running options are very bad. He has running punch, which is the punch where he jumps up and hits you with the elbow, which is very slow, it's reactable. And he also has forward kick, which is also another one of his running moves, which is very bad because you can react to both of those attacks at the same time. Bayman's running game has always been bad. He's one of them characters that have always had to be in your face. So I guess they add this to try to give him a faster option from Reigns, so that way you had to respect things. Then again, granted, it really wouldn't change much because this is still a low. The only problem is it's a very fast low. You know, it's not a low attack per se, but you actually have to low grab it or duck in order to react to it. So as you can see, Bayman's just running and sliding fast as fuck across the ground. That is very fast. He literally just slides on the ground. And I think the move is sick, personally. I think it was fine the way it was. Then we saw another video they just put out here. Now, the move is obviously different, okay? The move is obviously different. As you can see in this clip, he jumps up into it. So, and it's the same move. It's running grab. He jumps into it, and it takes a lot longer to do now. If you look here, again, we'll go back to the original clip. Bayman literally, he never leaves the ground. He slides right into that shit. And then in this build, he jumps into it first. So whatever reason that they changed that, I guess they thought maybe it might have been a little too good or whatever the case may be. Whatever it was, the move was completely changed, and you know, it sucks for Bayman players because I feel like he definitely needed that, but the game isn't out yet. We don't know what else he got. So that's definitely something that we should take into consideration when we get the game. A lot of things that with our characters that are currently in the game, like with Hayate, a lot of things might change as far as the character when the game comes out. So just keep that in mind. All right, I know you guys are probably wondering why my clothes changed, but I actually went to work and came back and they put this clip out, so kind of ignore the fact that my clothes changed and everything like that. But we do have another gameplay clip here that we're going to go over, and it's pretty much Elliott and Hayate. And we see some pretty interesting Elliott stuff here that I do want to watch and talk about for a second. So, as you can see, Elliott doing some pretty godlike shit right here. So the first thing about this clip that I want you guys to notice, Elliott actually free steps around Hayate's quarter circle back punch string, and this sucks for me because Hayate's quarter circle back punch string used to have a lot of priority on the screen in the game. One thing that I'm seeing that nobody's really doing yet, obviously in the beta build, nobody was really doing it because we're not used to it, but free stepping is actually very good in DOA6 from what it looks like. Like, Elliott literally just walks around this string. Like, literally, you can see him just walk around the string right there. So, like, that's fucking awesome. So it looks like they improved the your ability to free step as well as having a good side step. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about there. It's just how good the free step is. Second of all, Elliott's, I believe it's back H plus K, the input for that kick is. Elliott's back H plus K was one of his few tracking moves that he had that were just normals. Obviously, Elliott's strings were going to retract because they're so long and you can't sidestep them just because they're strings. But as you can see, Elliott's back H plus K causes this new stun, if you want to call it. I guess you can call it a stun. It says critical stun there, but I mean, obviously it's going to cause a stun, but it's not going to actually have the regular stun animation that we're used to seeing. So this is a new stun animation. It's completely new to DOA. You can see that it causes Hayate to spin in a circle. Obviously, you're going to get some pretty good frame advantage off of that, and it's going to cause a stun. And I noticed that a lot of the tracking moves from DOA5 did this in the beta. Kasumi's H plus K, I believe, was another move that did it. Hayate's H plus K. So this is definitely something we're going to have to experiment with when the game comes out. But I do want to look at the animation again. So, I mean, I don't want to say you can't hold out of it because I don't really remember from the beta if you could hold out of Hayate's H plus K. But you may not be able to hold out of that. I want to say you can because it's not confirmed, but I want to say you might not be able to hold out of that, but we'll have to see. So it causes that crazy stun right there. So obviously that's going to be on counter hit because Hayate was in the middle of doing a string. So right here, what's really interesting is that this is another move that I didn't know Elliott can go into his stance with. So as you guys know, Genfu is not in the current build of DOA6. He may be in the game later on as DLC, but as of right now, he's not in the game. So what it looks like they did is they gave Elliott a kind of Genfu-styled outfit. As you can see, it's kind of some shit that Genfu would usually be wearing. And as you can see, he does back H plus K into forward punch. Now, forward punch is a really good move because it's one of Elliott's main strings to get into his stance to do one of his strings out of. But as you can see, he can do forward punch and go right into the bear stance, which you can briefly see for a second that he kind of has like a Genfu stance right there if you look at it. So right there, he goes into the stance, and then he goes into H plus, well, what I'm going to assume is H plus K, because Genfu's hop kick is, the input is H plus K. So he does forward punch, goes into stance, and does H plus K for the quick launch. And then right after that, we're going to see him do wall rise and punch, which is one of Elliott's main relaunchers, into the stance again, into forward punch, punch P plus K. So it looks like Elliott's combo potential is going to be very fucking good in this game. Wall rise and punch, forward punch, 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 forward punch, punch, P plus K. So another thing is Elliott can actually do this out of up punch as well, which is one of his lift stuns. And that's going to be fucking dangerous and stun, because I'm pretty sure he has a grab out of it. I don't know. We're going to have to wait until the game comes out, unless they do release another beta and we get to test Elliott out. But Elliott looks really fucking good. Alright, next we got some Raido and Hayabusa gameplay here. There's not a lot of Raido action here. Raido's actually kind of getting his ass beat. But it's cool we get to see his character model, and we get to see a little more of the Crimson stage. Again, this stage is not a new stage. This has been in DOA2, DOA2 Ultimate, obviously DOA2 Hardcore as well, and DOA5 also. So this stage has been around for a while now. There's definitely a few things that have changed, and I want to talk about that for a second there. That's a new string that we just saw from Raido. Punch, 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 punch. Punch, 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 punch was never in the game. That punch he just did at the end there, that's a whole new string. That's never been in the game before. So Raido got a new string. Unfortunately, whoever's playing doesn't really know what the fuck they're doing, so we're not going to really get too much out of this. But the citizens over there, you can actually get a citizen assist off of if you hit the person into them. So that's pretty cool. And again, they just added a little more debris to the stage and made the just made the stage a little more lively this time around. So and again, we talked about it before. I'm not really too big of a fan of Raido's Fatal Rush or his Break Blow. I don't like the fact that he doesn't have his little hand slaps in there. Oh, another thing I want to talk about with this trailer, guys. Don't pay any mind to the sidestep attacks they're doing. I talked to Master, and he said that the computer was not programmed to use the new sidestep mechanics yet. So that's why we're seeing Hayabusa do his regular DOA5 sidestep punch and his regular DOA5 sidestep kick. So that's why we're seeing that. So Raido got his fucking ass beat. But that's what I want to talk about. Now that right there, that shit was awesome. That's some DOA2 shit right there. I love this transition. That looks fucking great. Holy shit. That's fucking awesome. That's some DOA2 shit right there, man. So, you know, pretty cool little gameplay clip. Shout out to Quest Gaming, because this is his video. Make sure you guys check out that channel, because they put up a lot of DOA6 content. And we don't really need to see this, just because we've already seen them fight a bunch of times, so we don't need to see that. So, moving on to the next thing. So we don't have any more videos to go over, but we do have some, we have an article to go over, and I got something else I want to talk about with you guys. So this is an article on ougaming.com, and pretty much just, it's going to be Shimbori confirming that there is going to be a DOA6 core fighters. This is awesome because of the fact that, you know, DOA core fighters helped a lot of players. I know a lot of good DOA players that got into the game by playing the free version, just wanting to give it a shot. The reason why this is good is because it gives fighting game players from other communities a chance to try the game without actually having to buy the game. They're able to not spend any money to, you know, get 4 or 5 characters. Usually it comes with about 4 or 5 characters. And I know at Core Fighters, they switched up the characters every week or something like that. Every month they added 2 new characters and they switched them out. So, you know, I think this is great because it's definitely going to help more people get into the game. Because DOA 5 last round was the first one that introduced Core Fighters. And I think that it was really cool because, like, again, a lot of players that I knew that were good that actually got into the game because there was a free-to-play version. So this is going to be awesome. Apparently, I seen a release date that it could possibly come out a little bit. Well, actually, no, there wasn't a release date. I seen a tweet on Twitter that somebody tagged me, but I don't think that was anything accurate. All it says that there's going to be a... I'll read the article to you guys, just the top part. It says... Director of the upcoming Dead or Alive 6 recently confirmed that a free-to-play version will be available as part of their post-launch roadmap. So, you know, sometime in the post-launch of the game, there's going to be a free-to-play version. And again, this is awesome because not only for fighting game players as well, but you know, for anybody who plays games in general, they want to give the game a shot to get to see what it's about. I think it's really awesome that they're doing that, so shout out to them for that, because a lot of players are going to be able to get into the game and try it out without even, and not even them. There's a lot of like hardcore DOA players that just don't have $60 laying around to buy the game, and this is at least going to give them a chance to, you know, play the full version of the game. Hopefully some of their main characters are already unlocked. You know, I know for me, because I play Hayate and Hayabusa as a secondary, you know, it'd be cool for me because I know that they're usually the free-to-play characters in the version, the free-to-play versions of the game. So, you know, this is just an all-around great idea by them, and this is pretty sick. So, and last but not least, I want to talk about the character select screen a little bit. You know, this is the DOA1 character select screen. Obviously, it looks very similar to the later ones that we're going to see. They didn't really change it up too much because I guess it was just a tradition for DOA. This is DOA1. As you can see, the characters are laid out down here, and you got the costumes up here. They kind of stuck with this formula for a very long time. That's DOA1. Then we'll go to DOA, actually no, I missed DOA2. So we're going to go to DOA2, and as you can see, it's still somewhat the same. You got the information here, the character there, you know, you get to change your character here, and then you got the costumes there. So they've kind of stuck with that same formula for a while. Then we have DOA3, okay, same thing. We got the character here. You can select your character down there, and we have the information here. Same thing, okay. This is DOA4. So obviously, if Hitomi wasn't here, you know, the information was going to be over there as well. So you got the characters down here. They definitely glossed it up a little bit and added just a little bit of more space between the characters, and obviously the characters are going to be up there as well. So, you know, again, they've stuck with this formula throughout DOA's lifespan for the most part. Then in DOA Dimensions, you know, it looks a little different just because in DOA Dimensions the character was up here and the character select was down here, but it was laid out a little differently just because of the fact that, you know, it was on two different screens, but it was still the same. You had the characters at the bottom, you had the information on the right side, and you had the character on the left. A lot of things really hasn't changed up until Dimensions. Then we have DOA5, and I didn't really play a whole bunch of DOA5 single player stuff, but as you can see, they added the whole entire model of the character here while you're selecting them, and then you have the characters here. You know, again, it's kind of somewhat the same. It's not completely the same, but it is kind of somewhat the same. I believe there is a screen that has their likes and dislikes and their age and stuff like that. I think there is a screen somewhere, it may be in Time Attack or something like that, but as you can see, it's kind of somewhat the same. DOA6 is the first game where they completely changed that formula up. All the characters are in the middle of the screen. So all the characters are laid out in the middle of the screen, okay? And then we got Raido over here, and we have Kasumi here. So, you know, and then they have their attributes here. This is the first time that the character select screen has been in the middle like that, and the characters actually had their own screen on the side. So, you know, definitely something that, you know, a hardcore DOA player is going to be paying attention to, just because, you know, I've been playing the game my whole life, and it's definitely something that they changed up, and I think it's pretty cool. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Please be sure to leave your thoughts and concerns and everything like that in the comment section. I'll be sure to post the links to all the original sites for the article and for the YouTube, for the Twitter videos as well on the DOA Tech Twitter page. Make sure you guys check out freestepdodge.com also, because that's going to be your one-stop area for all the new DOA news and things like that. Make sure you guys leave my channel a subscribe, a like, and a comment and everything like that. Check me out on social media at EmeryReigns, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.